Yeah, you see that, Manny? I don't like it either, but you know what? You're going to stand here and you're going to watch it over and over and over again. And better yet, you know what would probably be a good idea, Manny? Take this clip and just send it through a mass text and email to the players, and it just be this video on loop over and over again so they can also watch it. And no, you know what? No. Better yet, send it through a TikTok DM. That way we know they'll see it, right? Yeah, Manny, just sit here and take it in. Mac Brown is your daddy. Oh, man. I hate it. I hate it. And you know, I really do think that you should put this at the very least on every TV on campus. Play it at Green Tree because I want to make sure that every player and coach on this Miami Hurricanes football team is sick and tired of seeing this by Saturday. Can we do that? Please? What's going on, Canes fans? Out of all of the days for this game to land on, Miami is playing North Carolina on my birthday. So if I could have one, just one birthday wish, it would be that Miami dominates North Carolina at Kenan Memorial Stadium, because I don't know if I can take another booty spanking from Mac Brown. And just as a heads up, we're keeping the lights turned down low for the rest of the season for the preview videos at the very least, because we're in dark times, bro. But honestly, all joking aside, what an interesting game this is to talk about, because at the beginning of the season, both the Canes and the Tar Heels were considered the top two teams to compete for the Coastal Division. Miami started off the 2021 season in the top 25, and North Carolina was even in the top 10. But boy, were we both overhyped or what? North Carolina is sitting at 3-3, and they just lost to FSU last week. Yes, Florida State. But at the same time, us Canes fans can't really talk any trash. We're currently sitting at 2-3 and have done absolutely nothing notable so far this season. Both our team and our fan base is in shambles. But what's even wilder than all of that is the fact that anyone, yes, anyone, could still win the flipping Coastal. I mean, look at it. Just look at it. But let me back up a bit here and let's take a look at the history between these two teams. Miami and North Carolina have faced off 22 times in total, with the series tied at 11 games apiece. But of course, Canes fans will never forget the 4th and 17 debacle of 2019, or the 554 rushing yards that UNC put up on us last year. Yes, I'm still pouring salt into that wound, and yes, it still stings. So let's take a look at average stats so far this season for both of these teams, because it's quite interesting. If you were to remove the Central Connecticut game for Miami and the Georgia State game for UNC, these numbers would look a little bit different. But just keep in mind that I do round these numbers up or down respectively. I don't do 0.2 or 0.6 stuff. And I'm going to put a graphic image up here on your screen so that way you have something nice to look at instead of my face. So let's just go ahead and dive right into it. So far this season, Miami points per game average comes in at 30, North Carolina at 36. Points allowed against them per game, Miami coming in at 27, North Carolina also at 27. Total average yards so far per game this season, Miami 438, North Carolina 486, and average yards allowed against them per game, Miami 386 and North Carolina 372. Now, what's most interesting for me with these stats is, number one, they're very similar on paper, right? When you look at these two columns here. But What really is truly interesting is the fact that I mentioned earlier, if you remove the Central Connecticut game and you remove the Georgia State game, which would be really the easiest game on both of these teams' schedules, at least up to this point, average points per game, Miami would drop from 30 to 21. We're looking at the top row here. And North Carolina would drop from 36 to 31. So still kind of semi-respectable for North Carolina, but that's a pretty big drop for Miami. And even just forget about the drop. Just look at the average points per game. 21 if we remove Central Connecticut for Miami. That is pitiful. But looking at these numbers for Miami is starting to make me feel a little queasy. So let's just go ahead and transition over to 3 keys to a victory for both of these teams. And we're going to kick it off with the Tar Heels. Coming in at number 1, North Carolina needs to rush for at least 150 yards on Saturday. Why? Because they are 13-2 over the last 15 games when putting up at least a $150. Now, Miami gave up 181 rushing yards against Virginia, and they were only averaging 85 per game. So, honestly, that shouldn't be very difficult for North Carolina to do. Number 2, honestly, UNC really just needs more consistency on both sides of the ball. When you go back and look at their losses, they have struggled with execution issues big time. Just honestly, be more consistent, both offensively and defensively. Easier said than done though, right? I get it, but I'm just saying. And lastly, can Tar Heel fans pack Kenan Memorial Stadium and rattle Miami quarterback Tyler Van Dyke on his first road game? We all saw the impact a big crowd can make this past weekend. Alabama and Texas A&M. Now, I'm not saying that Kenan Memorial Stadium can get wild like that. No offense to North Carolina fans. I've been to that stadium before. I've been to some big games at North Carolina. It's nothing like College Station, right? But I'm just saying that this is Tyler Van Dyke's first road game. He's a young quarterback, so the crowd could play a part. But are they hype enough? Are they going to show up loud and proud with the current record at North Carolina? They're very upset right now with Mac Brown. So what's the turnout going to be? They're going to need to pack the stadium this Saturday. And now 3 keys to a victory for the Miami Hurricanes in this game. And, oh boy, let's see if I can get this down to just 3. Number 1, QB Sam Howell has racked up almost 400 rushing yards so far this season, but he's also been sacked 24 times, which is the most of any quarterback at the Power 5 level. And this statistic really actually kind of surprised me. So with that being said, just sack the man. Let's create some negative plays and get in the backfield often. Other teams have done it. Why can't we? They've given us the blueprint. Let's use it. Number 2, let's kick UNC while they're down. You can say this is a silly one if you want. I get it. It's cool. But the Tar Heels lost to FSU last week, bro. Their fans are heated. The players are beaten and battered and embarrassed. Bye weeks, I understand, haven't treated us well in the past, but theoretically, the Canes should be more rested both physically and mentally. And lastly, the Canes must limit the amount of explosive plays on Saturday afternoon. It's been a consistent issue for us, and if anybody is going to dial up some explosive plays against Miami, it's going to be UNC. So we better be ready. And now for the most hype anticipated part of every single preview video, probably the most skipped to part of every preview video. Everybody just wants to ignore everything else Coop had to say about the game, and they just want to see his score prediction so they can come back and tell me if I was right or if I was wrong. And you know what? Whatever, that's perfectly fine. You can do that if you want to. I can't stop you. But before we get into it, I am going to post up the ESPN matchup predictor for this game. They have Miami's win percentage chance coming in at 45.1% and North Carolina at 54.9%. And currently the spread, North Carolina is a 7-point favorite in this matchup. So my score prediction for this one. I thought long and hard about this prediction. And I've kind of went back and forth on it because, I had something in mind during the bye week, but then we saw North Carolina lose to Florida State, and that was at North Carolina's home turf at Kenan Memorial Stadium. So I was a little wishy-washy on it for a bit, but I have come to a conclusion, and I am confident in this score prediction, and I stand by it. I've got the Miami Hurricanes putting up 17 points. And the North Carolina Tar Heels putting up a big, fat 34. So I do have Miami taking a loss this week against North Carolina. Us going 0-2 in the ACC. And yes, I know that UNC is struggling. I know that. People are going to say, but Colt, North Carolina lost to FSU. There's no way, bro. Listen, I know they are down and out. But at the end of the day, Mac Brown owns Manny Diaz. And he's proven it time and time again. Miami has given me no reason to pick them to win this game. They've not shown me any reason why we can travel on the road and beat this North Carolina team, whether they're struggling or not. But if we do somehow manage to beat North Carolina, and let's just keep it real for a second, predicting Miami Hurricanes games is the hardest job in the world, because you know what would be a Miami Hurricanes thing to do? To be struggling like this in the 2021 season, everybody's up in arms, everybody's heated. We lose to Virginia, a team that we shouldn't have lost to, that we were expected to beat. And then we come out and we beat the brakes off of North Carolina. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen, but I'm just saying that that would definitely be a Miami Hurricanes thing to do. When everybody counts them out, counts us out, and says there's no way we're going to win, we come out and we win by 3+ touchdowns. That would be a Miami thing to do. But if we do find a way to win, I honestly think that it's going to be because North Carolina beats themselves. And I would maybe be a little more confident in this game if we had a healthy De'Aaron King, which we all know De'Aaron King is out for the season. His college career, his football career overall is probably over completely. But North Carolina has struggled heavily when playing a team with a dual threat quarterback. So a healthy De'Aaron King would have been huge for us in this game, where Tyler Van Dyke, I like his accuracy, I like his arm strength. I actually prefer it over De'Aaron King, but he's not a mobile quarterback. He's a pocket passer, in my opinion. And our O-line is probably going to struggle to hold up and give him a clean pocket. So that is just another reason, just stacking, more things on there that push me towards that North Carolina victory in this game. And I hope and pray, guys, that I'm wrong. But until this Miami Hurricanes team shows me that we can compete with other Power 5 teams, I got to give them an L this week. And I appreciate the fight and the grit that the team showed in the Virginia game, because they didn't lay down. They didn't give up. Miami Hurricanes teams of the past, especially these previous years, most recently, 5 to 7 years, would have laid down and quit 100%. And we're going to see what we're made of throughout the rest of this season. Is this going to be that Miami Hurricanes team that says, we're down and out, bro? We're just laying down. We are done. Stick a fork in us and flip us over. It's done. So we're going to see. We're going to find out what this team is made of. Does Mac Brown still own Manny Diaz? Man. I'll see you guys on Friday night for the night before stream. You guys can call in, give your score predictions. I'll be taking phone calls. And also during game day, this will be 3:30 p.m. Eastern time on Saturday. I think the game is on ESPN, if I'm not mistaken. I will have links for it. I will be live right here on this channel. We almost hit 1,000 people during the Virginia game. So it got wild. It got crazy. And it was a lot of fun. So hopefully I'll see you guys there. Remember, though, we're all one big happy college football family. But at the end of the day, I got to say, it's still always better when you get to rep the U. Coach Coop, peace out. Make sure you guys leave your comments about the game down below. I don't care if it's good, it's bad, it's venting, it's whatever the heck you want it to be. Leave me something. Talk to me. Peace out, guys. I'll see you soon.